Jo, and welcome to today's video. Now it's May, which means it's time for the book blogging in 2024 survey. Yes, that's right. If you are interested in book blogging, or you are a book blogger and you want to know more about the general average statistics and things for book blogging in 2024, you're in the right place. Now, I have done a whole blog post on this. If you want to go over to jolienstyle.com, you can find it there. I will add the direct link for you, so you can find that straight away. But some interesting stuff. Like I've done in other years, I have compared this year's results with previous year's results as well, so we can have a better look at sort of like how it's changing over time. So, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so now before I jump into the results of the actual survey, just wanted to give some stats of my own blog, jolienstyle.com, to just offer some more transparency, because it's something I don't think that gets talked about enough between bloggers, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of bloggers give up too soon as well, because they don't have the stats to like compare to. So anyway, this is to offer a little bit more transparency. So anyway, jolienstyle.com. Now, from the moment that I did the survey results, my all-time views to the blog were 2,032,880. That has since gone up. My all-time most viewed post was the one that I did about things that should be in every blog post. That one I published in August of 2021, and that has so far had over 144,000 views to date. My most viewed post so far for 2024 is the one that I did about how to start decluttering your home. That was published on 10th of January of 2024, and so far has had over 10,337 views. Okay, now as this is a book blogging survey, I'm going to give you my stats for my book related ones though. Okay, so my most viewed book related post so far for 2024 was a book spotlight that I did for War of the Winds by Victoria Williamson. Now that spotlight I published in January of 2024, and it has had over 9,217 views so far. Okay, my second most viewed book related post so far from 2024 was my NetGalley TBR post, which I posted in January of 2024, and so far that's had over 8,436 views. So just to give you an idea of the sort of stats there, it's also interesting to see the difference between the types of posts and the views that I get. So for example, my most viewed book review of all time was Evolving Aliza, Initiation by CJ Hall, which I published back in April of 2021, and that's had over 3,970 something views. My most viewed book review so far from 2024 was for The Dejin's Apple by Dejamila Morani, and that was published in March of 2024, and so far has had over 599 views. Okay, so it's interesting. It's interesting, I think, the difference between. So from this, we can already tell that like my book spotlights actually get more views than my book reviews. It's not always the case, but going by all-time stats, that's where I'm at. Also, another interesting one was for my most viewed book tag of all time. That was for I Love That Book's Show tag, which I published back in October of 2018. And that so far has had over 9.45 thousand views on it. Now, the book tags that's had the most views so far for 2024, that was my original tag, the Super Easy Rainbow Book tag. And that one I published in April of this year, and so far that's had over 135 views. Okay. Now, I would like to point out that's actually the only book tag that I've done so far this year. In fact, I would like to do more book tags, just because they're fun to do. And I haven't done any in a long while, and I have a long list of ones that I do actually want to get around to. But as you can see, book tags for me over at jolienstar.com are not like high traffic posts. I think they're fun. I like doing them. And they do get views. It's just they're not really competitive compared to other types of posts that I do. Okay, obviously I have a lot of other type of content over on there as well. But this is because we're doing the book blogging part, which I am a lifestyle blogger for jolienstar.com, but my main topic is books over there. So like the majority of what I post about is going to be reading and book related, publishing related, book blogging related, book marketing related, or whatever. It's definitely a bookish stuff, but I do have posts as well about travel, particularly in Rome. I live in Rome in Italy, so I do a lot of like local tourist posts. Also just like general stuff, like my most viewed was for decluttering your home, so just like general topic stuff for house and home as well. Got a variety of other stuff over there, but like I said, my main topic is still books. Okay, so now that I've given you some background on me and my stats for this year, and in general, let's go over to the survey. Okay, so every year I ask the same questions. Okay, so the first one is, how long have you been book blogging? Okay, just so we can get an idea of how many new book bloggers are coming out, how many people are sticking at it, and or how many people are giving up. Now this one was interesting this year. Okay, because it's the year that has had the lowest percentage of new book blogs compared to previous years. In 2022, it was 4.1%. In 2023, it was 6.3%. And this year, it's only 4%. Okay, so there's been a reduction there, which obviously this is like a very limited section of the book blogging community, because not everyone took part in the survey that I did, and so it's not cut and dried. This is what it is, but it does give indicators. Okay, I hope in fact that this is because this year had a slightly lower number of participants in the survey compared to other years, and that it isn't that people aren't joining the book blogging community, because I think it's important to talk about books and love of reading and share our passion for these things. So anyway, the 1 to 5 years section is actually high compared to the previous years though. Okay, so this is good because this means that the new bloggers from before sticking around, which is good. They're still going at it, and this is the first time that there has been a shift to the 5 to 10 years as being the majority. Okay, so this shows 44% I've been blogging for 5 to 10 years. Okay, which is great, because that means that the book bloggers from before are still at it. They're still still sharing their passion and, you know, growing their blogs and things. So I think this is awesome. This is awesome because this means that less people are giving up on their book blogs. It's also great to see that 20% have been doing this for over 10 years now. Okay, because I am one of those. I started blogging back in 2006. So I've been doing this for a long time. But it's nice to know that I'm not alone. I'm not, you know, the only one that's been doing this for a long time. And this is great as well because this means that we have a growing number of experienced, dedicated book bloggers who are still sharing their love for reading and their love for books and things. So I think that's a really great indicator from this year's survey. Now, question number 2 was, how many page views do you get per month on average? Now, this is a very important question because this is one of the reasons why a lot of bloggers get discouraged because they don't think that they're getting enough traffic. As with previous years, the less than 5K category is still in the majority, okay? So 64% are getting less than 5K views, which I think is incredibly sad, and I think we need to work on that. It's a good indicator that maybe as bloggers we need to learn more about like SEO, both on-page and off-page SEO and things to sort of help that out. Also the promotion of our posts and things. Something else that came up whilst I was researching statistics for this year was that it's been reported that articles with images get 94% more views as opposed to those with no visuals. Okay, so this is something that a lot of bloggers in the past I've seen where they're not adding images to their posts, whereas if you add at least one image to it, that makes it more shareable on sites like Pinterest, for example, which is actually a search engine and can pull you in traffic, like long-term traffic. So, you know, it doesn't have that short shelf life like a tweet does. It's, you can get traffic from the same pin weeks, months, even years later, directing them to your site. So I think that was very important. And I think that this statistic in general shows that, if bloggers are more aware of things that they can do to grow their blog traffic and things, then that could be a good indicator there. Now, another thing that came out though in this, which I am really happy about, is that the over 20K has 16% this year, which is great because that is so much more than in previous years, which means that a larger number of blogs are growing in size and things as well. For example, in 2023, only 2.2% had over 20K page views per month to the site. This year it's 16%. So that is like a huge leap in traffic, and that is amazing news, I think. Now, the next question, on average, how many comments do you get on your blog each day? Okay, now in the other research that I did for this, there was a comment saying that the average number of comments for a blog post in 2024 is 1.1. Okay, so like nothing, basically. People are not engaging, and my results from the survey confirm that, with 84% getting 0 to 5 comments on their posts. Okay, there is 0% getting over 20 comments. So this is a huge indicator. It's always been the category where it's always come up every year that I've done the survey. Engagement is somewhere where we all struggle. Okay, even the people that are getting high traffic to their blogs are struggling to get the comments on their posts. Okay, so number of comments is definitely something that needs to be thought about. Okay, because again, it's one of those things that a lot of bloggers get discouraged because they're like, oh, I'm just, shouting out into the void. No one is commenting, no one is engaging on the posts that I'm doing. And so they feel like it's not really worth it and things. But then if you go and have a look, traffic is increasing to these book blogs and people are sticking at it. But they're not getting that engagement either, okay? But they're still doing amazing with their other results. So, engagement is definitely a big issue and definitely something that I think in general we all need to improve on. I know I definitely do. And so if anyone has any suggestions about maybe you are getting more comments on your posts on your blog and things, so let us know your secrets. Share with us, because we all want to know how you're doing it, because we're all struggling. Anyway, next question. Where does most of the blog traffic come from? Okay, now, again, no big surprise this year. 58.8% are getting most of their traffic from search engines. 35.3% are getting it from social media links. Okay, now, search engines continue to be the high source of traffic for book blogs, with social media in second place. This has been the same results every year that I've done the survey, so no big surprise there. It does re-underline the fact of the importance of SEO and things in your posts, though, because if most traffic is coming in from search engines, then you need to be blogging with search engines in mind as well. Okay, social media coming in second, not really surprising, because just like in general how much time people spend on social media now, so that's a bit of a no-brainer on that one. The thing that I did find interesting was that this year newsletters got 0%. Okay, now in the past, in 2022, they got 2%, and in 2023, they got 4.3%. So there had been a slight increase in newsletters driving traffic, whereas this year, they've just newsletters have disappeared. And I think this is something that, you might want to think about. Are newsletters worth your time investing in them, or would you be better investing in SEO techniques and social media marketing as more effective ways to drive traffic to your book blog? Now, it's not saying that newsletters don't exist anymore, but just it got 0% for this year. Now, the other category got 5.9%. Now, as it's other, it doesn't specify where that traffic is coming to. So it would be interesting if your answer to this, maybe you didn't get in time to join in the actual survey, but if your answer to this would be the other category, let me know what that other is. Where are you getting your traffic from? Okay, because I think that would be interesting. It could be from other blogs. You might be, maybe through guest blogging, for example, something like that. I would be curious to know what's happening there, but there has been a slight reduction in that as well as the main method of getting traffic to your site. So a few eye-openers this year. It's I hope that this is offering some valuable insight into book blogging statistics and has at least given you a bit of food for thought. Okay, I think it's important that there is more transparency about statistics and things. Like I said, I would like to see more people opening up about where they're at in their journey. It's not a competition. It's not for boasting about I'm getting, this many blog posts or whatever. It's purely to see people starting out, like where you can go with it, how long it's taking people, like in general, out of all of the millions of people that are blogging, you know, how long is it taking them to build up to certain levels of traffic or comments or whatever on whatever the goal is, because it just helps you put it a bit more in perspective. And maybe on those days where you're feeling a bit discouraged or whatever, and you can be like, but that person's managed to get up there. Or maybe it's just the fact of, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that is struggling with this, but you know, there's this whole big community and we all have similar problems or whatever, just so it like opens up a bit more discussion and things between us. I really believe, like, I'm not in competition with it. I want us all to win. And you know, if you love books and you love blogging, and you want to share that passion with the world, then I'm all for it. The more the merrier. I think, you know, there are so many books out there to talk about. One blogger cannot talk about all of them. And I think it's great that there are so many different perspectives, so many different books getting talked about, that there are book bloggers that specialize in, you know, specific genres, other ones that post about, in general, just like random books, from lots of different genres and things. I've discovered so many books, so many new authors from reading other people's book blogs and the posts and things that they've done. I think it's great, the creativity as well, because book blogging is not just book reviews. There is so much more that you can do with it as well. So it's great seeing all the book tags. It's great seeing the author interviews, book blogger interviews in particular. I absolutely love, because again, they give more transparency and insight into what everyone's doing. And also like book spotlights even. Years ago, book spotlights, they were the posts that didn't really get much traffic or whatever. And now they're becoming, at least for me personally, have become really popular posts. So I think it's, you know, depending how you do them and things like that, it can be great. And I love seeing how different people are approaching it. I love it when I see various different book bloggers sharing their reviews for the same book as well. So you get all these different perspectives about what people liked about it, what they didn't, and it's, you know, it just gives you a much more rounded idea of what the book is and whether it would be for you or not, because we all know no book is for everyone, despite how much authors would love to think that. And I'm an author as well, so you know, I've written books, and you know, as an author, you're putting your baby out there, you want everyone to love it, you know, it's your own little gem there, and the idea that someone might not like it is kind of scary. But if you're putting something out into the public, then I believe that everyone is entitled to their opinion of it. If you didn't want their opinion on it, then you shouldn't put it out into the public. Okay. And not everyone is going to like it, and that's fine. That is fine. Because it's not for everyone. But book bloggers, what they do is they help find the right audience for each book. Okay. Especially by sharing their honest reviews. I'm not talking like author bashing and think that, no. You know, I believe in being kind. Okay. Also because it takes a lot of work to publish a book. If you've not gone through that process, then you might not realize, but you know, some people put years and years into getting their book out into the world, and you know, to have it ripped to shreds is devastating. But like I said, if you're going to put it out there, then you have to have a thick skin about it. You have to be prepared for that. But it also, you know, see, I should do another video just talking about this, I think, because it's such an important topic to talk about that as well. But anyway, going back to my original point, I love that book bloggers are sharing their honest opinions about books. I think it's important for the publishing industry in general that book bloggers are doing that. Also, because if a book has just like 5-star reviews that are all just like, oh, this book's great, this book's great, this book's great, it's not really helping potential readers decide if the book is great for them. Okay, it's much better, I think, also as a reader as well. If I'm going to go and buy a book, then I would be much more leaning towards a book that had, you know, some 5 stars or whatever, but maybe some 4s, maybe even a few 3s. 3-star is not a bad rating for a book. So, you know, even a 3-star, it helps weigh up, you know, if the book is actually going to be something that I would enjoy. I also love it when book bloggers put trigger warnings and things, because it really helps. I'm a mood reader, and you know, if it has a particular thing in it, then that might be enough of an indicator to me. They're like, okay, this book is not for me right now, and therefore I can avoid reading it and maybe read it when my head is more in that space to read it, and then I'd be probably more likely to give it a favorable review as well. So I think it's very important, these things anyway. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope that this video has offered a lot of insight. Again, you can find the full blog post that I did over at jolienstar.com. Link that up for you. It also includes some other research and things into general blogging statistics for 2024, which I found out during my research for it. And you can also find the links to previous years' book blogging surveys as well, so you can just compare everything up and see where you're at. Anyway, so that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.